Welcome back to Mock, where we take a look at someone else's mock draft. And I'm Maki, giving you my views, thoughts, and opinions. Got a good one for you today as we travel back to the realm of CBS, because we know that they got the most fire mock drafts, or at least the most interesting ones. And we're going to be checking out Josh Edwards' mock draft today. But what's crack-a-lackin'? It is your boy Broshmo. Just in case you did not know, so go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. Let's have that nice, beautiful football discourse. Let's go ahead and get into this sucker as we got a trade at pick 1, because obviously we think the Bears are likely going to trade this pick. And I think it makes sense that the best suitors for that pick are the Indianapolis Colts for multiple reasons, variety of reasons. Obviously, you got the Chris Ballard and the Ryan Poles connection. You got, as they both used to work with the Chiefs. For the Bears, you get to trade down to 4, so you're still probably hoping you get a Will Anderson or a Jalen Carter. So in terms of like range, it just makes the most sense. The Colts are obviously the team in the best position probably make a trade up 2-1 outside of the Texans. So honestly, I think the Texans might just sit at 2 and be like, you know what, let's see what happens. But they get Bryce Young. I'm telling y'all, Bryce Young, he's my top quarterback. If you haven't checked out, I got a top 150 big board I released earlier today. Check that out. That's always a blast. But yeah, Bryce Young. We know the Colts, they need a quarterback. Maybe they're done with this whole rent a QB thing for a year and see how it goes, and just go out and get their actual franchise signal caller, at least hopefully. There's still a lot of questions to be answered there in terms of, okay, who's the coach going to be and whatnot, but I don't think that changes what the Colts are probably going to do with this pick in their in the draft. Quick shout out to Underdog Fantasy. Thank you for sponsoring the video, by the way. With the divisional round coming up, well, shoot, it's time to get into the betting season with Underdog Fantasy. They do weekly fantasy and player prop bets, so you can check that out. Just because the regular season over doesn't mean your betting season is over. When you use promo code Broshmo, when you sign up, they will match your deposit anywhere up from $100 or up to $100. So you put in 30, they're gonna give you an extra 30. Ain't that beautiful? But remember, my friends, bet responsibly. Pick number 2, we got the Houston Texans going with CJ Stroud. So far so good. This would probably be my pick. You could argue Will Levis here in terms of, he's the upside might be a bit greater, but I think the bust rate is probably higher with a guy like Will Levis opposed to CJ Stroud. So Texans, I think they go quarterback in this draft. I just simply do. For me, I think it makes all the sense in the world for them to do so. Go ahead, get their signal caller. And then the Arizona Cardinals are here. I assume we're going to see Will Anderson, Jalen Carter. And it is, in fact, Will Anderson. So they get some pass rush here. I don't think they could go wrong with either of those prospects. So thus far, I think these are at least not necessarily the right picks, the correct picks. Are there right or wrong answers? I mean, I think there's good and bad choices. I think all these picks are good thus far. Let's go check out Jalen Carter at pick 4. Or at least it better be Jalen Carter. It is Jalen Carter. Jalen Carter coming here at pick 4 for the Chicago Bears. It's a good one. Whoever the Cardinals don't pick, just go ahead, swoop up the other guy. Again, they're the top 2 best non-quarterback prospects in this class. I don't think you go wrong with either choice. So they get Jalen Carter here. And honestly, kind of ideal for the Bears. I don't think it mentioned what they picked up in this draft in terms of value. Maybe you pick up I imagine the second round pick probably was involved in this trade. So hopefully you could pick up an edge. We're in a much deeper edge class. So maybe getting Jalen Carter here is a bit more ideal for the Bears. All right, this is via the Denver Broncos. The Seattle Seahawks are going to go with Will Levis. Okay, All right. Things are getting spicy here. Pete Carroll is immune to tanking. It is difficult to envision Seattle ever being high enough to select a franchise quarterback unless Denver continues to supply it. That's funny. The Seahawks cannot bypass the opportunity to take a developmental player just to support a 32-year-old quarterback, which, I mean, I get it. No Jalen Carter, no Willie Anderson. So it's like I'm not against this whatsoever. Like, you don't have to start him right away. Though Will Levis is probably the type of prospect you don't think you have to sit, but it is kind of a nice insurance policy on Geno Smith, who is a free agent technically. So if they don't bring him back, that might kind of open up what we think Seattle could do here at pick 5. So I could see this happening some way, somehow. All right, we got the Detroit Lions with pick 6, going with my boy Myles Murphy. I love this idea where you got Myles Murphy playing on the outside on early downs, and then on those passing downs, you bring in James Houston, you kick Myles Murphy onto the interior with a Liam McNeil, and suddenly that pass rush is a mamma mia, it's a fire, it's a crazy. I love it. I actually really like this pick. I really do. And then if you're the Lions, you're kind of hoping to get probably maybe a corner with that next selection. All right, this is the Las Vegas Raiders. They're going with Peter Skoronski. I get it. They need offensive line help. Some people tend to disagree. I think if you look at the Raiders' offensive line and think, oh, no, we're set for the future, then you're kind of lying to yourself. I think maybe preferably I go corner here. Perhaps. Go ahead, get your pick of the top corner. You got really, it's just Nate Hobbs there. Rocky Sin's a free agent. Meek Robertson's a free agent, so maybe going a corner maybe a little bit more ideal. I'm just gonna throw this out here. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but maybe a Brian Branch. I think that could be wild. I think that'd be crazy. I think Patrick Graham be like, oh, I like what I can get there. I mean, shoot, we've seen these past like Patriots DCs love their 3 safety sets, so I think it's in the likelihood. So like Peter Skoronski, I get it. It gives you a bit of versatility, but maybe you could shoot for I don't know. This just feels safe. I'll just say that. It just feels safe. All right, pick 8. We have the Atlanta Falcons going with Tyree Wilson. So I think you could probably say this is a very likelihood. A lot of people are going to be mocking Tyree Wilson to the Falcons, getting a guy who has really good pass rush upside, just very unpolished in that regard, but you get a very good run defender, so you know he can at least be a 3-down player early on for you. I like that. I think that's a good idea. I'm on board with it. I am on board with it. I'm not gonna lie. Okay, so far I think this is a pretty good mock draft. The Will Levis pick, kind of wild for Seattle, but I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. And that's kind of the idea. Like I do these mock the mocks, or every week I give you a mock draft and I try to change something just to like show different possibilities of what could happen, or like where teams may go. So I think Will Levis, honestly, the Seahawks isn't a bad pick. Like in terms of they can't even if they bring Geno back, man, it's probably not going to be long term. I'm thinking we're gonna see like maybe a 2 to 3 year deal. So maybe you get Will Levis and you could probably get out of Geno's deal after a year. I don't know. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility. All right, the Carolina Panthers are going with Anthony Richardson. This is going to be a popular pick here too if the top 3 quarterbacks are off the board. Because the Panthers, they're desperate for a quarterback at this point. I thought they were going to be desperate last year, and I thought they were going to take Kenny Pickett early. Didn't happen, but I mean, you bring in Anthony Richardson here, and it's like we first got to answer who's going to be the coach there. Is it Wilkes? Who's going to be the coach there? So, especially if it is Wilkes, like. It's like, you know, he's going to want to get the quarterback position right. after his Josh Rosen fumble in Arizona. All right, so next is 10, the Philadelphia Eagles. They're going with Cam Smith. So I do like the idea of corner in general. Just the Eagles, they could be desperate for corner because of obviously James Bradbury is a free agent. Darius Slay is a bit long in the tooth, so like, what do you have there? Vontae Maddox? Nah, he's fine. He's doing all right. He did all right in the slot, so you're gonna keep him there. But like, what they have guys like Zach McPherson, Tay Gowan, so it's like bringing in more talent to the core position is definitely vital. So I like the idea of them going with the corner here, and this is the first corner off the board, correct? Ooh, it's Cam Smith. Look at the Cam Smith love. I don't mind it. All right, we got the Tennessee Titans going with Paris Johnson. Going tackles, kind of a no-brainer for the Tennessee Titans, simply because, well, Derrick Henry is the engine of your offense, which means the offensive line, everything around that engine needs to be working perfectly, or at least fine enough. And it's not. That left side of the line sucks. So, and this is a good point here. Taylor Lewan, they could part ways, and that would save them nearly $15 million towards salary cap. So you love to see it. Well, you don't love seeing players get cut, but you love when you can get more cap space. You really do. So Paris Johnson kind of feels like an obvious pick, or at least offensive tackle in some manner for the Titans here. This is the Houston Texans, their second pick. They're going with Jordan Addison. So if you're doing a 1-for-1, like essentially you're thinking we need to replace the speed, the separation of Brandon Cooks, because he's probably not going to be on the roster next year. Jordan Addison feels like that sure fit there. It doesn't necessarily mean it will be him. Like, I think Quentin Johnston, still my top guy. I think he high points the football exceptionally well. He's tough to bring down after the catch because he's just so big and sturdy. I love the catch radius. I think he's got better than you would expect long speed. Like, I think he's going to test like a 4.4. So, like, I think, I honestly, I think both are fine. Both are fine. Wide receiver, it seems like the correct answer. Brian Brazee, I think could also be a pick here. But let's keep moving and see what's going on with Brian Branch going to the Jets. This is one of my favorite picks because he comes in immediately. Get LaMarcus Joyner out of there. Brian Branch, a guy that, we project him a bit. You have to project him a bit. Can he play deep? I think he can, but ideally you want to play this guy around the line of scrimmage. He's just so good, such a sure tackler, has a great nose for the football. But I mean, we saw with Jalen Pitre this season with the Houston Texans, just because you're playing a majority of your snaps deep doesn't mean you're not going to be around the football. That guy was always in the vicinity of the football. So maybe you could still probably play this guy deep in a manner where he is still being that ball hawk that he is. Oh, Gojo, are you having nightmares, bud? Gojo, you okay, bud? He's over. Gojo's sleeping behind me, just ooh. He's probably dreaming of, he's probably having nightmares about what this Chiefs pick's going to be. All right, so the New England Patriots are going to go with Quentin Johnston. This ends up being just really good that he falls to here. Patriots don't typically take wide receivers early, but I when it comes to the draft, never say never. Like, oh, this team hasn't taken this position in 40 years. And it's like, streak's got to be broken at some point, man. So with the and I'm not saying like the Patriots have taken a wide receiver in the first round, but I think that was one of the big ploys with linebacker to the Eagles last season, which the streak still continues. I'll just say that. But I mean, I think this is just a big upgrade from Devontae Parker. Jacoby Myers is a free agent too after the season. This is actually an ideal target too, I think, for a Mac Jones. So I actually really like this pick. The Green Bay Packers take Bijan Robinson. I love this. I love the idea of experiment where Bijan can go. This might be my favorite one yet. So AJ Dillon is entering the final year of his deal. Green Bay, they could save $10 million toward the salary cap by moving on from Aaron Jones. Salary cap hit in excess of $20 million next season. Although unlikely, the Packers are faced with a chance to entirely remodel the running back room while adding a blue chip talent. I like this. This is not out of the realm of like possibility. Oh, excuse me. Can you imagine that? Move on from Aaron Jones after all he's done for you. To be fair, in big games, man, seems like the bigger the game, you can almost guarantee an Aaron Jones fumble or a key drop or something. I don't know what's up with that, but AJ Dillon obviously you didn't really see what you wanted to from him this season. I really like this, actually. I might jack this for a future mock draft. I think I'm going to take this pick for a future mock draft. I didn't really even think about it for the Packers. Like, we got to really consider, where will Bijan go, man? That's like $1 million question there. All right, the Washington Commanders at pick 16, Devontae Witherspoon. He's a really good fit for Jack Del Rio's system there. So I like it. I think they need more cornerback help. Witherspoon ends up being the second corner off the board. Let's see if more are to come. Because we got the Pittsburgh Steelers here, and they're taking Joey Porter. There we go. Christian Rodriguez ends up being the guy falling here. So this is the thing, man. Everybody feels all kinds of different about these corners. So it's like, it's going to be interesting how it actually shakes up. But I think Joey Porter ends up being a good fit for Mike Tomlin's defense. You get to keep you get to keep the Penn State product in Pennsylvania. He gets to play for his former father. Well, I say former father, his father's former team. So that's all kinds of cool. All right, the Detroit Lions are going to go with Christian Gonzalez. So we had three corners go back to back. So this is ideal. I think Lions, they end up getting Myles Murphy and then Christian Gonzalez, who's a really good fit for Aaron Glenn's defense. Yo, I'm not going to lie to y'all. I really like this mock draft. And that's saying something about a CBS mock draft. Let's see if they can keep the run alive with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers going Trenton Simpson. This actually makes a ton of sense as well, because Lavonte David has nothing but void years left in his contract with. Okay, so I've seen places where they've listed Lavonte David as actual free agent. So I don't know. Regardless, if he ends up leaving Tampa this year, Trenton Simpson, a guy who's so good out in space, such an ideal replacement for Lavonte David. Really is. I like that. All right, this is Seattle Seahawks' second pick. They're going with Brian Brazee. I forgot he was still on the board, and he ends up falling here. So you end up getting. Oh, they got Will Levis. That's right. And now they address defense, so they get this nice penetrator that can play three tech and 5 tech there for the Seahawks. So yeah, this is a good pick. Interesting draft for the Seahawks. I don't think it's a bad one either. All right, the Chargers, they're going with Broderick Jones. I like this. You can throw Broderick over there at right tackle, have him and Jamari Sawyer, his former teammate, try to see who can win that right tackle spot. And then, which it's likely going to be Broderick Jones, because even when they played together, like I remember Jamari Sawyer got hurt, had to miss 4 games, and Broderick Jones, you could just tell it was like, oh, this is the better player here. So just move Jamari Sawyer over to the left guard spot, which is, I think, fine. The dude used to play left tackle for the Bulldogs. And then, I mean, he's playing on the side he's comfortable with. The move to guard makes sense. I always thought he was going to be a guard. A projected guard in the NFL, which that's where he was playing at the Senior Bowl. Fortunately, he came out and played pretty good with Rashawn Slater down. So yeah, this kind of like hopefully completes your offensive line. I like this pick for the Chargers. All right, the Baltimore Ravens go Jalen Hyatt. I'll say this is probably, I get why. They get a speedster. I mean, they released Deshaun Jackson a couple of weeks ago. Jalen Hyatt, he brings that speed, but I'm hoping there's more than just speed when it comes to Jalen Hyatt. I really am. Like, even I think I really do. He's not Anthony Schwartz. He's not Danny Gray. Like, I think he's better prospects than those guys. That's why I think he's a day 2 prospect. For me, this is a bit early for him. I get it. Keely Ringo's still around. Can you imagine bringing in Keely Ringo on that defense? That might be the pick for me, but I get why he would make this pick for the Ravens. All right, the Minnesota Vikings take Jackson Smith-Njigba. So you can kick KJ Osborne out to the outside with Thielen kind of being up there in dog years. I get it. I feel like you might probably ideally you want to go defense because the defense was just such dog water this year. But like Jackson Smith-Njigba, he's a really good prospect, and honestly, like O'Connell will probably be one of the guys be like, that would have Jackson Smith-Njigba higher on his board than probably a consensus of the NFL. All right, the Jacksonville Jaguars go with Michael Mayer. Jacksonville identifies a long-term plan at tight end for Trevor Lawrence. Like, you could grab Mayer and still bring back Evan Ingram. Like, you just have now a plethora of receiving threats. And you bring in a Michael Mayer who's a much better run blocker than Evan Ingram. So, like, I'm not gonna, like, honestly, Michael Mayer is probably the best player on the board. So, let's keep rolling with the New York Giants going Keely Ringo. I like this because this defense, they played well this year, but you could tell how the limited amount of depth there in the secondary. So grab a Keely Ringo, play on the outside. I think it's just really good. Great size, good straight line speed. I like this. I like this pick quite a bit. All right, the Dallas Cowboys, they're going Drew Sanders. I've seen this pick quite a few times actually for Dallas. And I mean, I kind of get it. With Michael Parsons now kind of exclusively being a pass rusher, you grab that you grab a linebacker with a ton of length that could also come be a very good blitzer at the next level, but that length is going to cause problems in the passing lanes. I understand, I get it. They got Damone Clark there. I think we're gonna see they're probably gonna. I don't think Vander Esch is probably back with the squad. To be fair, I don't know what his contract's like. But, they're going to probably want to move forward with Damone Clark. He looked pretty good at the tail end of the season because no one thought he was coming back. But, kind of curious who... Because I really think it's just been, at least... recently, it's just been Clark and Vander Esch. Can't think. I know they got Anthony Barr there, but I mean, I guess Drew Sanders would kind of be an Anthony Barr mold, kind of be the role you have him play. Yeah, it's been Vander Esch, who's actually had a pretty okay year. It's not been bad. Anthony Barr, okay. I could see the replacement for Anthony Barr. Damone Clark's been really good. Here, I wanna see specifically. Yeah, my boy Jabril Cox. I don't know if he's been hurt. He hasn't gotten a lot of play this year, but I'm not opposed to it. I'm down. All right, the Bengals, they take Osiris Torrance. I think they need a tackle more than a guard, and Osiris Torrance is very much a guard. So what? He replaces Volson. Then you have Kappa and Karis, but now Jonah Williams, and then you're gonna have to figure out what you're gonna do at right tackle while Layla Collins rehabs from injury, and hopefully he comes back and plays better than he did. Like, I really think the tackle problem is more of a problem than the actual. Yeah, I think the tackle problem is it's much more legit. All right, the Denver Broncos go with Antonio Johnson. I understand this because Kareem Jackson's old. Like, legit, he is old. Yeah. Pairing him up with Justin Simmons. You got Caden Stearns in the rotation there. I think that's fine. I like that. Like, Broncos are kind of tough to project at this spot at the draft. All right, we got the Buffalo Bills go with Josh Downs. So just more receiving help. I bet you they would have loved Osiris Torrance here. Just grab it. I guess grab him more ball skill, like more pass catchers. I guess that's fine. I was kind of hoping Khalil Shakir would kind of emerge in the slot. I mean, dude, like, Shakir has flashed at moments this year, and like, just because you're getting downs doesn't mean that he's necessarily going to be the slot guy. You know, he could come out there and maybe give you a little bit of. You could play outside, kind of like rotate there with what's his name, Gabe Davis. So it's like, I don't know, feels kind of like a luxury pick, but it is what it is. Hey, Gojo, the Kansas City Chiefs are on the clock, and they're taking Nolan Smith. This is interesting because Steve Spagnuolo doesn't take these type of guys. Like, Nolan Smith is like 30 pounds lighter than what Steve Spagnuolo likes to have. So, like, I get it that, like, at his size, he's a really good run defender. The pass rush win rate was really good, but I mean, he's been like a stand-up rusher his whole career. Like, it just doesn't feel. It's just not a Spag pick. But if Spagnuolo looks at this, he's like, I could find a role for this guy. I'm not worried about that. Just give me a good player, then okay, that's fine. All right, Philadelphia Eagles are going to end with Felix Anudike Uzama. I think there's probably better edge talent on the board. Like, Uzama's fine. Like, he's really good. He's flashed a lot. This is a really good edge class, so it's kind of like hard nitpicking all these guys. But, like, for me, he's just on the ground far too many times than you would like to see. But, I mean, that's the Eagles. Like, you know, You could go the trenches here because you went corner early. I really like that idea. I mean, Lucas Van Ness, I think, feel like he's an Eagle. Feel like he'd be an Eagle type of player. I mean, he comes from a Bird team. Have him get drafted by a Bird team. But interesting mock. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I don't hate this one. I like this one. This is typically CBS, you know. They come with the heat and not the good type of heat. But this, I'm not going to lie. I was actually really impressed with this mock draft. I liked it. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.